You aren't failing in life because you're unlucky. You're failing because you haven't decided that you're going to win. You may have wished for it. You may have told yourself that you really want it, but you have not made that concrete decision that you're going to have it. Most people go through life only wishing for things. They'll say, I wish I had more money. I wish I was in better shape. I wish I had a prettier girlfriend. And these people are stuck in life. If you're only wishing for something, then you will never put in any effort to go out and achieve it. And then there's a level of people who want things. They'll say, I want more money. I want a nicer body. I want a prettier girlfriend. And these people have some hope, because if you want something, then maybe you'll put in some effort and you won't arrive at that 10 out of 10 girl, but you'll get a 7 on the way. And then there is a level beyond that. These people get everything they could ever dream of. These people are absolute winners. They are the deciders. There's only one thing that separates the deciders from everyone else in life. They prepare for the results that they want. I heard this story. People were stranded in the desert without water, and they went to the leader panicking, saying, what are we going to do? So the leader said, go pray for rain. Well, they woke up the next day and it hadn't rained, so they run back to the leader and they're panicking even more, freaking out, saying that God has forsaken them and they're going to die. And the leader says, where's the ditches? And they're like, what are you talking about, ditches? And he says, if you would have expected God to answer your prayers, you would have dug ditches to hold the rain. This is a great example between hoping for something to magically happen versus expecting a result to come. If you expect the result to come in your life, you're going to dig that ditch so you can hold the water when it rains. When you make a decision, you prepare for it because you expect it to happen. If you don't prepare for something, you're only wishing for it. And wishes do not come true. I don't care what fairy tales say, wishes never come true. Results come to the people who prepare for them. And the problem is most people don't know the difference. They'll be begging out to life saying, why won't you get better? I want things to change. I wish for things to get better. But they're expecting that a magic wand's going to get waved, and then the next morning they'll wake up and everything's changed. But winners decide what they want, and they don't rely on luck. They don't rely on handouts. They show up and they make the reality come true. They literally tell life, this is what I'm going after, and I'm going to have it. I used to be the first type of person. I hated my life, but I never took any action to change. I was just hoping that one day I would wake up and everything would be better, that all my dreams would have come true. But that's not how life works. You don't wake up and you're in a different situation. You have to actively create the life that you want. And it took me years to grasp that concept. For some reason, I just kept on living like the future would just appear for me. Not that I had to create it. But you have to make the decision and then act in congruence with that every single day until you reach it. Let's say your goal is to get a six-pack. And you come to me and I tell you, if you show up to the gym, put in 30 minutes of effort 3 times a week for 3 months, no matter what happens in life, you will get that six-pack guaranteed. Anybody would be willing to put in that little bit of effort. But when the results are not guaranteed, when you're not sure how far you have to go or how much time and effort you have to give, and you're not even sure if you're able to get to that point, then you're not so eager about putting in the work. Then you actually get to the point where you don't think that it's worth it to put in the work. This is where expectancy comes into play. When you make that decision that I'm going to achieve this in life, I want this and I will have it no matter what, that's when the whole game changes. That's when the distance doesn't matter anymore. And the amount of effort you have to put in, the time that it takes, the actions that you have to do, doesn't matter anymore because you know that that result that you're going after is worth whatever it takes. And here's a secret to life. When you refuse to quit, life eventually has to give you what you're after. It's all a decision. And once you make that decision and you expect that it's going to happen, nothing else matters. There is something you need to understand though, and this is probably the area where most people get confused and quit and never get their achievements. Life is going to test you. Not because it's trying to stop you, but because it's trying to see if you actually want your goal. And the greater the heights you're going after, the harder those tests are going to be. We have to be ready for this. So many people start a goal and they're going after it and then get hit with adversity and they give up and they say, oh, well, if this happened, maybe it's not meant to be. I'll move on to something else. But they don't realize that that is a test of life. There's that moment in everybody's journey where they get hit with the slow progress or the little bit of adversity, or they get pushed down the ladder and some of their time gets wasted. And most people make the decision to quit. But that's what separates the winners from the losers. The winners realize that it is a test of life, that it is an adversity thrown in their way to ask them if they truly want the result, and they push through until they get it. And you have that choice. You can either decide, hey, I'm going to be like everybody else and I'm going to quit here because life's a little bit hard. Or you can push through and get what you're after. Get the thing that you truly want. But there's good news with this too. Because if you truly desire something, it doesn't matter what gets in your way. You're going to push through it until you get your goal. And when you do finally reach your goal, it's just going to be that much sweeter because of the adversity that you had to push through. See, it's the challenge. It's the test that you go through that gives something value. If Lamborghinis were free, if you could get a six-pack with 1 week of effort, it would have no value. It is the difficulty of it that gives it the value. If everybody had this, nobody would want it. So do not get discouraged when you get knocked down, because you getting knocked down means that you're going after something worthwhile. So get up and keep pushing. And if you get knocked down again, get back up and keep pushing again, because life is going to test you. You have to push through that adversity and tell life, I am getting this no matter what. I'm achieving this no matter what you throw at me. And I don't care how many times I get pushed down, I'm going to have it. And there'll be people that call you unrealistic. They'll say that you're delusional and that your goals are unachievable. And I listened to those people for so long. So much of my life, I would tell people my goals and they would just laugh at me. They would say, there's no way you could achieve that. And I would let them control my life. And yeah, maybe I would have these goals out here, but this person said that it's unrealistic, so maybe it is. I shouldn't even put in any effort towards it because they're just going to laugh at me more, say I'm wasting my time. I let that control my life. And then I had to realize those people are putting their own limitations on me. They have no idea what my potential is because they are viewing me through the limitations that they have put on themselves. So do not ever let anyone tell you that something's unachievable. If somebody else has achieved it, it is achievable. People have told me, why are you going after so much money when you're young? There's no way that you can ever make that much money when you're that young. But other people have made more money than me. Other people have put themselves in a position to have more status, have more followers, have more impact, have more money, create more things in life, be more impactful on the world than I have. So how are you going to tell me that it's not possible? How is someone going to look me in my eyes and say you can't achieve something when other people have achieved it? Never let anyone tell you that you can't achieve something. They have no idea what your potential truly is. Only you can say what your potential is. And I would argue maybe you don't even know your potential. I would say that you could achieve things far beyond your mind could even comprehend. So never let the voices of the outside people control what's going on inside your mind. Never let them control your life. You have one go. This is not a trial run. This is not something that you can go back and retry. This is your only life. You need to make a decision of if you're going to be average and mediocre and comfortable like everybody else, or if you are going to go after something great and pursue excellence. I want you to decide to be great. And it's going to be the hardest decision of your life because you're going to have to ignore your family. You have to ignore your friends that love you. And you have to ignore these people who are constantly in your ear saying there's no way that's possible and just trying to push you down with their own limitations. But that's the choice you have to make to get out of mediocrity. If you don't want to make it, you can be like everybody else and live an unfantastic life. But if you make that choice that I'm going to do something more, and then you start expecting that result to happen, I promise you it will come. I wish you could see the amount of potential I see in you. Truly, I wish you could. Because every human being is created equally. Nobody is any better than anybody else, and that means that anything anyone else has achieved, that you can achieve it as well. And even if they haven't achieved it, you can still do it. If your mind can see it, you can create it. You got to think, just 120 years ago, people were saying it was impossible to fly. Now I look up every single night and I see planes going by every few minutes, carrying people across the world. So it doesn't matter if it's never been done before. That's impossible. How could you ever do that? Or, only a few select people get that. You don't have that opportunity. Who are they to tell you? Who are they to tell you your own limitations? I don't believe you have any. Truly, I don't believe you have any. I think if you can see anything in your mind, you're able to create it no matter how hard it is, no matter if we don't have the resources, if we don't have the technology, you can create it. You can find the resources. You can do it yourself. I believe that you have unlimited potential. If you can see it in your mind, you can create it. You need to understand that. This is the most powerful tool in the world. Don't let anybody else tell you that you can't do something. God has given you this vision for a reason. You have these things in your heart and these purposes that you keep on thinking about because you can achieve it. But I want you to make the decision. I want you to truly say, I want this. I am going to have it, and start acting like you know it's true. That's the key. You have to act like you know it's true. You have to act like you know it's going to happen. Because if you're not acting like you know it's going to happen, then you're just wishing. And wishes do not come true. So decide what you want. Prepare for it. Expect it to happen. Push through any adversity that life gives you, because you can create something amazing with your life. You can achieve amazing heights. You just have to tell life that you're going to. Because the people in life who win aren't the luckiest. They aren't the ones who had the most talent. They're the ones that decided what they wanted, told life they're going to get it, and never stopped until they won.